her recipe. No-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m.? Big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas? The ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G-Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk. Real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 7/20/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
From the foreign desk, the African nation of Chad firing back following the U.S. travel ban that was issued by President Trump. Correspondent Donna Warder has the update in this report.
The president of the African country of Chad, Mohamed Idris Deby, says his country is suspending the issuing of visas to U.S. citizens. It's in response to President Donald Trump's decision to ban citizens of Chad from visiting the United States. Deby says in a Facebook post that he's directing his government to suspend visas to U.S. citizens in accordance with the principles of reciprocity. President Trump announced last week a ban on 12 countries, including Chad, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, and Yemen. And there will also be heightened restrictions on visitors from 7 other nations. The new U.S. travel policy takes effect at 12:01 Eastern Time, Monday. I'm Donna Warder.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Amazon spending $20 billion on 2 data centers in Pennsylvania. One will be next door to a nuclear power plant in northeastern Pennsylvania that will power the new facility.
The other data center complex will be located just north of Philadelphia, according to Kevin Miller with Amazon Web Services. The data centers are designed to meet the growing demand for artificial intelligence products. Amazon is also committed to big data center projects in Mississippi and Indiana, Ohio, and North Carolina, as it expands to compete with other tech giants. Rich Thomason, Washington.
Boxing returning to Boston's Fenway Park for the first time in nearly 70 years. Fight night at Fenway scheduled for this Saturday. The oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball, Fenway has held political events in sports like football, soccer, hockey, and basketball, not just Red Sox games. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is The Point. Going, Kevin.
Hey, great people of Columbia, Gene Garris filling in for Kevin Cohen on the afternoon drive, where you get to control the show. 803-799-8255, 799-TALK, Groucho's Deli in studio hotline.
Drive with Kevin Cohen.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now from Broker Solar. Local, honest, solar. Online at brokersolar.com.
Good afternoon. Collisions at I-20 East 2 Notch Road, and also shop at Money, 200 O'Neill, and also a Disabled Motors blocking the right-hand lane, I-26 westbound at St. Andrews Road. Jay's Corner Restaurant and Bar on the corner of Bluff Road and Rosewood. Family-friendly atmosphere with great outdoor space and stadium view. Trivia Monday, Steak Tuesday night, Music Bingo Wednesday. Jay's Corner Restaurant and Bar. Doug Thomas on The Point.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your Monday evening forecast. Scattered thunderstorms remain possible into the evening and overnight hours. A few storms may be strong with heavy rain, wind, and lightning. Make sure to check the radar if you're heading out. Overnight lows drop to the low 70s. For Tuesday, expect highs in the upper 80s and a 40% chance of afternoon downpours or thunderstorms. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Fireside Studio. It's Kevin Cohen. All right, and to be honest about things, it's Gene Garris filling in for Kevin Cohen. What a wonderful day it is. It's hot, but it's always hot here in the summer, or not first day of summer is a couple weeks away, but it's always hot here. And goodness, I was perusing, and I, let me go here. I'll go ahead and give you this. So we have a radio sponsor here that is Palmetto State Armory, and I bought lots and lots of stuff from these people. And right now, so if you're looking what to get, what do you get, Dad? What do you want to get a guy that you want to make a dad? What do you get your significant husbandy person? Right now, you can do this today. Right now, Palmetto State Armory has a AR-15 style rifle, an American a sporting rifle, $329 from Anderson Manufacturing. $329. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good on the pricing there. And goodness, so we're already getting the calls. Telephone number here is 803-799-8255, 799-TALK. And that's on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline. And we've got one person on deck. We'll get to him or her in just a moment. But man alive, do we got wild stuff happening. And, there is... All right, and this is not to be full of copium or hopium. Neither copium nor hopium. But there's some actual 4D chess going on in this nation state we call the United States of America. This stuff in California is a nightmare. And it's a nightmare for our friends on the left because they've come out in support of people that are doing detestable things, and they're going to look like garbage, which is sort of cool. So I'll take the win, but we'll go right to the phones and say, "Hey, caller, how are you?"
I'm doing fine. How are
Hey,
you?
what's going on there, David, the social scientist? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, actually, my neck of the woods is your neck of the woods, and your neck of the woods is my neck of the woods.
Right, we're close. We're pretty close.
No, I'm talking about just simply being here on planet Earth.
Well,
and more narrowed down, being here in the United States of America.
And even closer, being in downtown Columbia, and even closer, Is it raining like crazy? I think I'm hearing something, but I can't tell.
You hear me, but it's not raining.
Okay.
I don't know if it's raining outside or not. I'm not listening to outside. I'm just trying to find out what type of Americans we are that will applaud and encourage and ICE groups to get together without identifying themselves, cover their face in masks, and being able to walk up to anybody and demand that they come with them.
Well, here's a thing on the way that
your children,
the way that you've described it.
They come with them.
The way that you've described it, you are 100% right, and every American should be appalled at that. Now, when you just look, here's why. When you look into it a little bit further, you find out that ICE. Wait. That ICE agents have been targeted by cartel-funded agents in the United States, that ICE agents' families have been targeted by cartel-affiliated people in the United States. That's why. Personally, one more thing, David. Personally, I would mandate that every law enforcement officer in the United States that's like a uniform or a patrol officer, that person, every one of those people
supposedly from South Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles, I look up tomorrow, that they're going to start enforcing tickets that have not been paid. And I can lose my license. They can come and get my car. This, and that. Geez, you know what the funniest thing is?
You can't drive anymore?
That's about me. I'm legally blind. I don't have a driver's license. I can't remember the last time I drove it.
But how about this, Andy? If they send out 20,000 of those fear-mongering things, somebody's going to bite. And because it doesn't...
It's got a website to go to, you know, and pay or, you know, put a Trojan in your system or whatever.
First thing you need to go is you need to go and get Xbox gift cards. Are you sure this is right?
Yeah.
You need to go to
I just started laughing, you know, that I have a ticket that I haven't paid. It's been a year. It's been a year. You know, if I've been out driving for, you know.
Well, you've been sleep driving, Andy. You not only are you not prepared to drive, but you were doing it in your sleep. You didn't even know you were doing it.
I mean, if this crazy state, you know, state's crazy enough with some of the drivers here, if they're going to get me a license, you know that there's problems with the DMV.
That's funny. That is.
I
really
just thought I'd throw that one out. I've seen other ones about the tolls that I've run through tolls and they got my license plate and blah blah blah. And this is the first time that I've been told that I have a traffic ticket and that they're going to come get my driver's license.
Yeah, and there's the tax ones. You have unpaid federal income tax, and there's a warrant out for your arrest unless you. And we'll say some of them. They'll say we'll send an officer by your house to what? You know, it's and it's good to talk about these things because I had a patient of mine who was in a quasi-romantic relationship with this guy that you know, it's a internet mediated thing, and she said he's a general and he's in Syria and his kid's at a military school in, you know, some state and needs some money for a thing, and I was wondering, no. Somebody that's a general, a 1-star, does not have any economic problems, and I'm explaining to this person, this character on the other end of the thing, if they were a general, they've got friends in the United States that would go ahead and make sure their kid was okay. You don't have to do that, but people get caught up in a dream about these things and they goof it up. They want it to be true.
General in some African country.
Well, I mean, it might have been like the was it Liberia when they were wearing like pink flamingo inflatable pool toys and shooting at each other or something. There's a bunch of just wild stuff in the world, and thankfully it's not here yet.
Well, what's your take on the Trump little battle going on?
It's not there's not a battle, not a battle at all. And Andy, I say this because what is the difference between this year and the same time last year? And to me, the difference is rainbow, pride. And Trump evidently has had some sort of interface with Megyn Kelly, and he sort of let her in on the secret with a thing that they had she had a problem with him. And I don't think it was just from the kill shot she tried to do with the, you've called women fat pigs and disgusting, and he replied, only Rosie O'Donnell, to a huge laugh line there. He hinted to her that these people have to report on something, and so sometimes you got to give them something to report on. So I think the Elon Musk Trump fight was a artifice, was a manufactured thing to gobble up 5 days of news cycle.
Well, is it artificial that he's talking about cutting back on NASA and taking away funding?
Well, maybe that's the continuation of the thing. You know, they keep the ruse going by. Oh, and by the way, I've been looking at this, and I don't necessarily think this is in the best interest of the nation.
Well, You know, I don't do social media, and I've heard that they've been going back and forth on each of their social media platforms. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, here,
I'm an anti-social media person.
Well, you are the wisest person in the audience. But I'll give you this. So one of the declarations that Elon Musk made was that the reason they're slow rolling the release of all the Epstein documents is because Trump is implicated there. Now, also remember that Elon Musk has essentially farmed little X off to POTUS 47 in some babysitting roles sometimes. I mean, I have seen videos of little X walking with Trump to get on Marine One to go to some event. So, truthfully, if you thought that Elon Musk believed for a second that Trump was pedophile adjacent, that he would allow his son to spend so much time with President Trump, I just don't think so.
I wish they would actually release that stuff because I think it's on both sides.
How about this, Andy? I don't care. I don't care. I want all the people that procured children, all the people that sold children, all the people that received children. I want them all to go away, and I want to know who they are. I want to know who they are, and I want them to face an appropriate mechanism of justice for those type of crimes.
Those type of crimes should be penalized in the harshest manner.
Right. I said drop the hammer, and I'm not. That's not a any sort of truncated syllogism or any sort of no. They actually should be beat to death with a hammer. And you know, I don't think as a nation state, as a civilization, I don't think we can tolerate that, and that those type of people insisted themselves in the city, state, national governments. It's just abhorrent.
And I think people will be surprised if the names that come out, which names would come out. It would be a surprise on both sides. It's not one side, it's not another. I mean,
all of them. I don't need to know their party affiliation.
Like doesn't have to be a party affiliation.
Right.
They're just sick people, and these sick people should be taken care of and taken off the streets.
They should never be able to damage another child again. Now here's a thing. So I have a buddy of mine that his first job out of law school, he was did a bunch of guardian ad litem work, and he just started with nothing, and he did some appointed cases by City of Atlanta, municipal court, and things like that. But when he first got his big full-time job, he was a criminal domestic violence prosecutor in a town north of Atlanta. And after he was in the job for a couple months, I called him up. I said, "Well, can you tell who it is?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I mean, can you tell who the violent offenders are? And he goes, "Crap, it's everybody." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you can't tell. It's everybody." You know, so all the little, you know, when you said, "Hey, you're doing criminal domestic violence," I expected wife beater T-shirt. I expect alcoholism. I expect a whole bunch of other stuff. No, it was freaking everybody.
Gene, did you go to college?
Yeah, I did. That's where I was graduated from the second time.
When I ran a couple of restaurants in Atlanta, we had a bunch of students from like worked with our weight.
Now, what can you say? What restaurants it was?
Well, it was Silver Spoon Cafe that was at the Galleria Mall.
Okay.
There and also TGI Fridays off Power Ferry Road.
Okay, so that was the Marietta one. How about this? I'm going to say a name, and you can tell me if you've ever heard of that name before. Ken Mack.
No.
Okay, because he's from Cocoa Beach, Florida. He's a roommate of mine. He worked for, change that, I was wrong. He worked for Houston's. But I was thinking TGI Fridays. He worked for Houston's. That's why it didn't work out.
You were probably, I'm in my 60s, so you're a little bit younger, so I don't think
54.
So I think that you were still a little bit behind because I was in my late 20s.
Okay.
When I was in Atlanta.
Well, it's a wonderful place, and every time I go back to visit, it's just great, great, great. I have favorite restaurants, and unfortunately, most of the folks that I would go to see, they've all moved away.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
All right, Andy, I gotta run with a break.
Okay.
Thanks for calling,
Yep,
and
you have a great day. I'm looking forward to listening to you this week.
all right, and I'll be here tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Thanks so much, Andy. And we're going to take a quick break, and those people.
Hey, I'm Katie Bronner. And I'm Lindsay Outlaw. Every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9, we will be talking about issues that concern seniors and their families.
So join us right here on 100.7, The Point Radio for the positive points on aging.
Brought to you by Oakley Village of Lexington.
Every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on The Point, join me, Chad Jordan, and my co-host Larry Jordan for the Palmetto Real Estate Pros. We'll help you out whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn all things real estate every Friday right here at 100.7 The Point.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now from Broker Solar. Local, honest, solar. Search Broker Solar.
Hello again, slow 126 east and west at Elmwood, 126 east at Greystone, and 77 southbound right at Bluff Road, 26 west at 77, and 26 west at St. Andrews Road. Also Broad River Road at St. Andrews Road. Assurance Financial. Do you need a home loan? See Dan Kadar and work with the lender who is a proud partner with the Gamecock Athletics. With Assurance Financial, apply online in less time than halftime. AssuranceMortgage.com. Doug Thomas on The Point.
Point A to Point B traffic. 4 times an hour, mornings and afternoons. On The Point.
Step on the comfort and style with Floor Boys. Imagine plush carpets underfoot, sleek hardwood reflecting sunlight, or luxurious vinyl plank elevating your kitchen. Each step in our showroom unlocks new possibilities, blending your vision with our expertise. Our experienced team guides you from inspiration to flawless installation, making the process easy and enjoyable. Visit us on North Lake Drive or book a complimentary in-home estimate. Explore endless flooring options and fall in love with your space only at floorboys.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? To order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Nothing better than a Saturday night in June in Casey, West Columbia. This Saturday, it's Rhythm on the River, proudly presented by the Greater Casey, West Columbia Chamber. Come out to the Riverwalk Amphitheater and give a listen to Going Commando. It's family friendly. It's pet friendly. Come out and experience great food trucks, tremendous music, and a night on the town. It's Rhythm on the River. Saturday night, the Riverwalk Amphitheater. For more information on this and all events, check out www.visitcwcsc.com.
Remodeling. Just the thought of it can be a little scary. I'm Eddie Springer of Trey-Cal Builders, and we understand. Many of our clients come to us after a bad experience. From no-show contractors to shoddy work, we've seen it all. Trey-Cal is different. We do first-class work quickly, cleanly, and affordably. With Trey-Cal, remodeling's easy. Call 360-8211, 360-8211, or visit trecalbuilders.com. Quality from start to finish.
Get ready for a summer of adventure with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through July 31st, you can take advantage of a special 6.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Whether you're planning a road trip across the state, a relaxing beach getaway, or finally checking off that bucket list destination, we're here to help you make it happen. With this promotional APR, you can enjoy your summer without the stress of high interest rates. Pack your bags, gather your loved ones, and get moving to the vacation you've been dreaming of. Founders makes it easy to enjoy more. So go ahead, kick back, relax, and soak up every sun-soaked moment of your well-deserved summer break without breaking your budget. Learn more and see the list of qualifying purchases at foundersfcu.com/cc. Let Founders help you take the trip of a lifetime. Promotional rate ends February 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13.25% to 17.90% will apply. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
The Afternoon Drive with Kev continues now from the Bart Fireside Studios.
All right, bumper second, callers first. How are you doing, caller?
Hey, this is me.
Yeah, it's you, Nick. It is you, Saint Nick. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to respond to everything I've been hearing for the past 3 or 4 days. But for David, Ed, Kim, all the outraged liberals, they're outraged about the so-called illegal deployment of the National Guard troops to Los Angeles. I mean, I just had a few things to say about that.
Okay, well, I think President Obama obscured posse comitatus, which stopped the U.S. military from being involved in state issues. So, if you're unhappy with Weekend Warriors, great American National Guardsmen in your town, well, you can be regular military. So watch out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my thing was, I mean, how quickly we forget that, it was like 2022, like September around 2022, where DeSantis flew like 50. According to the governor, the sheriff of Texas, they were duly documented migrants. Once they came into Texas and they were processed, they were documented. 50 of them. He flew to Martha's Vineyard, and the governor, Charlie Baker, he activated 125 National Guard troops to get them off their little island. I mean, 50 pretty much documented people showed up in Martha's Vineyard, and their governor activated 125 troops. That's over 2 troops per person.
Right.
So I mean that and there was no burning, there was no rioting.
But they weren't there for more than 24 hours, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so it's an outrage that we have, like, because on Martha's Vineyard, there's roughly 20,000 people that live in the whole little island.
Right, but it's the right kind of 20,000 people. It's the Obamas, and well, unfortunately, Obama lost his chef, somebody drowned him out in the pond there. Yeah, and this guy was an accomplished swimmer too, so maybe got hit in the head with a piece of baccarat crystal or something before he went for the last swim. But yeah, so there's those people, super rich people. Well, let's be honest, Nick. I'm going to say something that's on one hand it's sort of controversial, on the other hand it's the truth, and that is frequently our friends in law enforcement are the bouncers for the state. And when there's a group where super rich people are being inflamed and put in a bad position, they demand of their political sycophants that want their money, you need to fix this. And those folks weren't able to stay in Martha's Vineyard for 24 hours. Got them all out within 24 hours because it was the right people, not me, not you. It's the right people. Because everybody's equal, but some people are more equal than others. They got their political will expressed, and they got those folks bounced.
I mean, my only problem is I didn't hear anybody calling us going how outrageous it was.
All right, we gotta go. Sorry.
The Dow decliners, Travelers, Visa, and Apple. The Dow falling a point, the Nasdaq higher by 61, S&P 500 up 6. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Are you Dad's favorite? You want to be? Then get him the gift that he actually wants for Father's Day at Palmetto State Armory. Upgrade his old gold knife with a new one from brands like Bubba Blade, Kronos, and Leatherman. Get him some much-needed peace and quiet with electronic hearing protection from Walker and Axley. And if the only thing that's worse than his lame jokes is his tackle box, make his day with new fishing gear from Rapala, Berkeley, and Strike Key. Palmetto State Armory has the perfect gift for the dad that has everything. And if you still can't decide on what he wants, take the easy way out and get him a gift card. Visit us at one of our 9 retail locations or shop online at PalmettoStateArmory.com.
Ronald Reagan once said, "Man is not free until government is limited." In South Carolina, our spending is up 59% in 4 years, and we are not free. Where's the money going? Not to roads. You all know that. Not to schools. We're 42 out of 50. I'm Ron Reddy. Go to dogesc.com and join the revolution to cut spending, cut taxes, and return the money to the citizen.
Paid for by My Voice SC2, Office Park, Suite 103, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223. WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump is blaming professional agitators for the scenes of violence in Southern California, defending his deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Responding to the immigration protests in Los Angeles, the president accused insurrectionists of creating violence.
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators, they're insurrectionists, they're bad people, they should be in jail.
He also posted online that sending in the National Guard was a great decision. However, California Governor Newsom plans to sue the Trump administration to roll back what he calls an unconstitutional deployment. Greg Clugston, Washington.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta has announced the state's sovereignty was trampled by President Trump when he ordered National Guard troops to the immigration protests in Los Angeles. Israeli forces have seized a Gaza-bound aid boat and detained Greta Thunberg and other activists who were on board, enforcing a long-standing blockade of the Palestinian territory.
The activists set out to protest Israel's ongoing military campaign in the Gaza Strip and its restrictions on the entry of humanitarian aid, both of which have put the territory of some 2 million Palestinians at risk of famine. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition, which had organised the voyage, said the activists were kidnapped by Israeli forces while trying to deliver desperate aid to the territory. Israel's foreign ministry has portrayed the voyage as a public relations stunt, saying in a post on X that the Sophie yacht is safely making its way to the shores of Israel. I'm Charles Philadelphia.
On Wall Street, the Dow down by a point, the Nasdaq rose 61 with the S&P 500 index up by 5. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You. We just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Healthcare is complicated. It doesn't have to be. If you don't love how your health insurance works, maybe it's time to leave traditional health insurance behind. Take charge of your healthcare with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM offers you flexibility. Enroll anytime, choose your own provider, and select the program that fits your needs and budget. CHM is the original faith-based way of taking care of your medical bill costs. Learn more at chministries.org/wellness.
A new poll finds that more Americans say their standard of living hasn't declined since their teenage years, but they definitely see a downhill trend in the culture. Correspondent Ken Lorman has the details.
The latest Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey finds that 40% of American adults believe their standard of living was better when they were teenagers. 38% think their standard of living is better now. Whatever their view of their standard of living since their teens, most Americans definitely think that the culture has headed downhill. Ken Lorman reporting.
Frederick Forsyth, the British author of The Day of the Jackal and other best-selling thrillers, has died after a brief illness. He was 86. Forsyth served as a Royal Air Force pilot before becoming a foreign correspondent and novelist. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters. A high-profile killer is now behind bars.
A former police chief and convicted killer known as the Devil in the Ozarks has been captured after he escaped from prison, triggering a massive, nearly 2 weeks long manhunt in the mountains of northern Arkansas. Grant Harden was serving lengthy sentences for murder and rape. He previously served as police chief in the small town of Gateway near the Arkansas-Missouri border. Harden had been held at the Calico Rock prison since 2017 after pleading guilty for first-degree murder. John Scott reporting.
A runaway pet zebra has been captured in Tennessee. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says Ed was captured Sunday in a passenger. He was airlifted to an animal trailer. Video posted by the Sheriff's Office shows Ed wrapped in a net with his head sticking out as he's carried by the helicopter to the waiting trailer. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is the
All right, it's Gene Garris filling in for Kevin Cohen on Monday's afternoon drive, and hopefully Tuesday's afternoon drive, and Thursday's afternoon drive, and then Friday's afternoon drive. So I'll be with you most of the week. It's going to be fun. Hope to catch up with you this week.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now, from Broker Solar, local, honest, solar. Online at brokersolar.com.
And good afternoon. Collisions at I-26 westbound at 77 and 26 west at Sunset. Broad River Road at St. Andrews and Fort Jackson at 77. Spears Creek at Earth Road and also 77 northbound at Shop. 77 north at Bluff Road. 77 north at I-20. Fine View at American Italian Way. And 26 way out of the 129-mile marker. One collision slowing things down. Crescent Construction, the official group of the Gamecocks, residential, commercial, and general construction. Crescent Construction. For a free quote, call 803-781-1900 or CrescentCarolina.com. Doug Thomas on the point.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your Monday evening forecast. Scattered thunderstorms remain possible into the evening and overnight hours. A few storms may be strong with heavy rain, wind, and lightning. Make sure to check the radar if you're heading out. Overnight lows drop to the low 70s. For Tuesday, expect highs in the upper 80s and a 40% chance of afternoon downpours or thunderstorms. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Yeah! No, that's my imitation. It's coming. It's coming.
In the Barn Fireside Studio, it's Kevin Cohen.
All right, Gene Garris filling in for Kevin Cohen. Music goes down, and our friend Nick comes up. Thanks for holding on there, Nick. And paralyze the place.
Yeah, 125 National Guard troops were activated and nobody cared. Now there are, 20,000 people on Martha's Vineyard. There's 20,000 citizens. In Los Angeles, there's like 3 million people that live in Los Angeles alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 300 National Guard troops there right now, and people are losing their minds. So let's 3 million citizens, 300 National Guard troops, and we have 20,000 citizens on Martha's Vineyard. We had 125 National Guard troops. So,
But Nick, it doesn't have to be valid. If it had been 10 National Guardsmen, they would have still been flipping out the same way. Because the United States is the enemy. Their job is not to remake America, but to destroy it. That's these Marxists. That's what they do. They have hate in their hearts, and they're just using the illegal folks, the reluctant immigrants. They're using them as pawns, and it's unfortunate.
And all I'm saying is, I agree with Andy. You have to be responsible for the businesses, but I remember a good 20 years ago, the business I worked for right off of Pine View here in Columbia, they did a deep dive before the federal government even cracked down on you have illegals working there, and I remember working with 3 Mexican nationals who were here legally, and one of them told me if I can't get my grandmother from Mexico in Mexico to come up with my high school records, I don't have a job. So some of the businesses are doing their part, but I mean, if and I mean, I'm not trying to argue with what Andy pointed, but if I'm just saying, if I go to Home Depot and pick up 3 guys, say 2 of them are Latin American looking, 2 of them are black guys, and then when I get to my house, I mean, the sheriff locked up, pull up and say, well, there's 2 brown guys and 2 black guys. I need to see papers.
Well, the other thing you'd have to ask some other stuff, like what is your probable cause for coming to my house? Why are you here?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have to be kind of careful. I mean, I think overall, the country of America and businesses, I know there's a lot of cash, day labor jobs. I work a few myself, and like you said.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Fee for service. That's the best non-romantic exchange between 2 people is fee for service. Everybody's happy.
When we start talking about, we need to hold people responsible, we need to do this, we need to do that, yes, we do. And if we get to the point to where, Richland County's got to go to the day labor spot and check everybody's ID, we should have been worried about that, a lot less than we're worried about what's going on in Los Angeles right now, because the gate's been open, the barn's been burned, the cattle are running free.
You got to close that gate. You got to close that gate. Close that door.
It's a little late to let's check people's papers at the day labor site. So I'll leave you with that.
All right. Thanks so much, Nick. Thanks so much. I always appreciate the calls, and we're going to jump to our next caller and say, hey, caller, how are you?
Hey, Gene.
Hey, what's going on there, Super Ed?
Yeah, I think Nick needs to have his hearing check. I don't believe I've talked, I've said a word about what's going on in Los Angeles.
I think maybe that was more of a. I think you got broad brush painted.
Oh, okay.
Because you were with a litany of other people there too.
Yeah, well, I don't like that. I don't like being painted with a broad brush because there are a lot of things that I am, in general, a liberal.
Mm-hmm.
I am a proud liberal, but there's some things that I am pretty conservative on. But
and those are the good things. That's what we are. No, that's always great.
Those are the correct. Yeah. But anyway, you see the stock market just went over the left today?
No, have not seen it at all. I've been working or here.
1 whole point down.
1%. What did NASDAQ do? Because if it changes,
not 1%. 1 point. Closed 1 point down today.
Okay. Well, that's that's hard to get ramped up about that, isn't it?
That was a joke.
Okay.
Do you ever remember the Dow finishing dead even right on zero?
I have not. But I do remember some big things, like when it broke 10,000. Anything that has a zero, like a birthday, is more exciting. I do remember when it broke 10,000.
Okay. All right. Well, I just think if the Dow hit 10, that would be the same as flipping a coin and it landing on the
edge. Yeah, that's right.
It's just so improbable last night. Came close today. Anyway, I have a question.
Okay.
The people that are, taking people from the border to sanctuary cities.
The coyotes?
Should they be arrested? Should they be
Yeah,
arrested?
I think they should be the coyotes, the ones that are separating these Mexican families. They'll take the guy and separate from the other members of his family coming over, and they'll say, "Look, here's the deal. You're carrying this backpack. You're going to go to this address. You're going to drop it off, and you get to see your children again. You get to see your wife again. Otherwise, you might get murdered. Or actually, you will get murdered. So here's the deal. You need to deliver our drugs."
Sanctuary city. That's all I'm asking.
Well, it depends. Like if you, reminiscing about life in the 1960s, picked up a hitchhiker 30 miles from the border and drove that person to Los Angeles.
Personally, take loads of people to sanctuary.
Well, if you are transporting illegals anywhere in the United States, maybe that should be a crime. But I don't know if it is a crime or not.
So the governor of Texas and the governor of Florida should be arrested for transporting illegal immigrants, yeah, that's what they are, to sanctuary cities. They should be arrested, right?
Well, you would think that if that's a crime, they should be arrested, right?
Well, yeah.
But that begs the question: is it a crime? And that might be it's not yet, but should be.
Well, do you think it should be a crime?
Well, here's another question, Ed. Is it in the vital interest or legitimate interest of the former Republic of Texas, now the state of Texas, to pay to send people out of their state? Is that a legitimate function of government? What budget line did that money come out of? I mean, there's a million little questions you can ask.
Yeah, but it wasn't done for that reason.
No, it was done to rub their nose in it, and it worked.
If there's the governments of those sanctuary cities.
Yeah, just a couple thousand people in New York City almost shut it down. I mean, it's crazy the amount of stuff that they're doing.
And so it is illegal to ship illegal immigrants to sanctuary cities. Governors of Florida and Texas, I don't see any way around the fact that they should be arrested.
Well, the fact of the matter is neither you nor I know of a statute, state or federal, that they'd be in violation of. It feels wrong. It seems wrong. It seems like it should be a crime.
Well, of course it's a crime, because you see all the time ICE agents pulling over people like Mr. Abrego, and for transporting illegal immigrants.
Right. Ready for this? For the purpose of sex trading, for the purpose of prostitution, for the purpose of exploitation. I think that's the easy one on that one. We got to take a quick break, Ed, but we'll bring you right back at the end of this segment, or the beginning of the new segment, and then we'll let you finish up. So hold on. We're going to be right back.
The Afternoon Drive with Kevin Cohen. This is Fran Halloran. Tune into my show, The Intentional Living Power Hour, on Thursday mornings from 9 to 10 for simple and practical financial coaching on The Point, 100.7 FM, 1470 AM, Columbia's local talk radio experience.
Every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on The Point, join me, Chad Jordan, and my co-host Larry Jordan for the Palmetto Real Estate Pros. We'll help you out whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn all things real estate every Friday right here at 100.7 The Point.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now from Broker Solar. Local, honest, solar. Search Broker Solar.
All right, Rex 77 northbound of the 5 and 6 mile markers, and 77 northbound of the I-20 out. Wreck and Pine View at American Italian and Blade with the wreck. 26 westbound of the 129 mile marker, and also Fort Jackson at 77 Spears Creek at Earth Road with the wreck, and also wreck at Broad over to St. Andrews Road. We got 26 west at St. Andrews, 26 west at Sunset, 26 west at 77, 126 still slow eastbound at Greatstone Boulevard. Natural Roots, eco-friendly pest control and wildlife removal. Hey, they're committed to providing humane wildlife control, removal, and prevention. Natural Roots pests are non-toxic, eco-friendly, and safe for children and pets. NaturalRootsPestControl.com. Doug Thomas on the point.
Point A to point B traffic. 4 times an hour, mornings and afternoons. On the point.
Drew here from Chem Inspector. During the winter months, we're still on the job, ensuring your safety with inspections of your fireplace. You might be wondering, what else do we do? We inspect and clean your home's dryer vents. If your clothes are not drying in one go, it's time to get your dryer vent cleaned. This will boost your dryer's performance, extend its lifespan, and even cut down on your power bill. So reach out to Chem Inspector at 803-859-5858. That's 803-859-5858. Or visit us online at chemspector.com.
Energy, that quiet force behind every chore, every comfort, every little joy. It's your energy that matters most of all. At Dominion Energy, we're not just an energy partner, we're your energy partner. Helping you get the most from the power you use through tools, tips, and programs makes saving energy easier, not harder. So you can spend less time thinking about your power and more time enjoying what it powers. Get started at DominionEnergy.com/savings.
When you think of family, you think of hugs and lots of love. That's what your loved one will find when they move to Oakland Village for assisted living or memory care. You can rest assured your family members will participate in engaging activities, have exceptional care, and all their needs met. You gain peace of mind that comes from family taking care of family. Call Oakland Village today at 803-969-8168 and see how you too can join a community that feels like family. Or you can reach us online at oakleyvillagelexington.com.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Enjoy the taste of summer too, with amazing hand-tossed pies, cool, crisp salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Mellow Mushroom, in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Need a quality grill that'll outlast the test of time? Bart Fireside on Broad River Road in Columbia has your grill. Bart Fireside offers you a wide variety of outdoor grills. Smokers from the Big Green Egg, infrared grills by Tech, propane grills from Napoleon, and pellet grills from Green Mountain. Bart Fireside has the perfect outdoor grill for any occasion. Call them at 772-7364, and they're online at bartfireside.com.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia, your premium cigar retailer in South Carolina. We're constantly restocking our favorite brands and always getting new things in for you to try. If you're new in town, we pride ourselves on being the friendliest hangout in town. Come on in and check us out. You're still at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard in the same plaza as the Melting Pot. And if you're new at cigar smoking, one of our friendly staff members can walk you through the humidor and find something you'll like. So stop by Colonial Village in Columbia.
Columbia's local talk radio experience continues now from the Park Fireside Studios.
All right, and we're bringing our friend Ed back, so we give Ed some time and get him wrapped up, and then we'll go to our other two callers that are on deck at 803-799-8255, 799-TALK on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline. Thanks for holding on there, Ed.
So, the bottom line is that when those sanctuary cities cropped up all across the country,
but they've been doing that for ages.
People on the right, governor of Texas and governor of Florida, they shipped busloads of migrants to those places. And big joke, we're going to see how they like it.
But they weren't newly sanctuary cities.
But then when those people in those sanctuary cities weren't sufficiently annoyed by it.
Oh, I think they were. I think
our great glorious president
Adams in New York City, he he got indicted because he said, "Hey, this is out of control." He broke with Team Biden over the sanctuary city things and said, "This is not something that can be kept up this way. This is out of control." And so, for his dutiful support of Team Biden, he got indicted. Remember that?
Well,
he strayed too far off the plantation. He thought he was free.
Anyway, there's plenty of other cities. But anyway, because they weren't sufficiently annoyed by that, in fact, they were using a lot of people that needed labor were coming to those sanctuary cities. Because of that, our president decided to really drop the hammer on the sanctuary cities. Previously, these two men calls were supposed to be so upset and annoyed by it that they would take care of the problem.
So how did he drop the hammer on, let's say, New York City? Or if you have a better example, if you have one that's on the tip of your brain, how did what was the expectation that they would do? What was the expectation that the sanctuary cities would do when they were being overrun by these illegal immigrants?
They would throw the city government out, and they would tell ICE to come on in, but then when they weren't sufficiently upset by the immigrants coming in, well, that's when they decided they were going to crack down on sanctuary cities.
Okay, well, I don't think that's that big of a deal, but I've got two more people I got to get to, Ed, but I'll be here the rest of the week except for Wednesday. Hope to catch you up on that one. So we're going to jump here and say, hey, caller, how are you?
Hey, Gene, everyone, how you doing?
Oh, it's great, Professor de los Ciencias. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, since he was on the phone, I'll go ahead and let him know that I did look up what he was talking about last night, Gene. And as usual, he's wrong. And if you go to like 1 hour, 54 minutes, and I think it's like 14 seconds into your live stream last night, you'll see where Ed talked about Donald Trump using the term the girl's dressing room. Wasn't said, Ed. Prove me wrong. I saw the video he's talking about. He talked about backstage, which is vastly different than going to the dressing room.
Right.
So that was wrong again, as usual. He misremembered it. But, Gene, I got to complain.
Okay.
Why do Republicans have to pay tariffs on products? Which, you know, I'm okay with these tariffs because it's got a greater goal. Why do we have to pay them, but Democrats don't? Because I'm looking at a video over there in L.A., and I see all these people shopping without paying tariffs.
Well,
found a loophole.
Yeah, somehow.
You can't pay a tariff if you don't pay for it.
Well, maybe we should have like an extra tariff on foreign nation state flags.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
and then we should also mandate that all American flags must be constructed of flame resistant or flame proof Nomex.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just once again, and I guess we're going to hear it's mostly peaceful looting.
Yeah, well, it was mostly peaceful. There's only a handful of burning cars. Only a handful of burning police cars. They blocked all lanes of like a 10-lane interstate and were throwing bricks off the overpasses that would penetrate going into the passenger compartment.
And this might be a kind of a clever ploy for them. They might be trying to burn these buildings down so that they can have jobs building them back. You know? Maybe that's the plan.
Maybe. It's not a riot. It's a jobs program. There's not enough shovel-ready
stuff, so we're going to take this shovel and we're going to break out all the windows. It's a Keynesian. It's a John Milton Keynes. They're scholars. They understand economics. That's what they're doing.
I still say, Gene, a 17 truck driving through there, just talking to load, just a mist. You don't have to like full on gushing it out. Just a mist.
Yeah.
From the truck that says septic tank on it. It could even be water with just like a little perfume, anti-septic tank.
All right, well, we're going to hold you over, and if we got somebody else on, we're going to hold that person over too. 803-799, and I promise, in the next half hour, we're going to get two callers to completely dealt with. And of course, there's room for other people. 803-799-8255. I'm Gene Garris, filling in for Kevin Cohen on the afternoon drive.
He's Kevin Cohen.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. California will soon file a lawsuit against President Trump's extraordinary deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles to confront immigration protesters. That's according to the state's attorney general, who said the president had trampled the state's sovereignty. Trump said Monday that the city would have been completely obliterated had he not deployed the Guard. The Gaza-bound depot carrying Greta Thunberg and other activists has arrived in an Israeli port after Israeli forces stopped to detain them. Israel was enforcing a long-standing blockade of the Palestinian territory that has been tightened during the Israel-Hamas war. The boat was accompanied by the Israeli Navy. On Wall Street, the Dow down a point, the NASDAQ rose 61. More details at srnnews.com.
I bet you've heard us say this. You can't pick your power company. So how can you control your power bill? By partnering with Ken and his local team at Broker Solar. Ken, our power is not getting any cheaper.
So every year there's typically a rate increase that happens, and utilities claim that they want to keep up with their operating costs. Now, Broker Solar allows you to take control of that cost, own your power, create it, store it, and then use it when you need it. There's special solar financing that would take advantage of the tax credits. You can have several options on how long you'd like to pay off your solar system and how quick the return could be.
No two homes are the same, so you work with homeowners, business owners to fit their needs based on how many solar panels they need and even where they want the panels to go. Most folks prefer it on the roof, but some don't.
We frequently get asked about solar on the ground or even on a separate solar structure like a carport or a lean-to that comes off the house.
Call Broker Solar. Call them now, 803-807-7417 or online, brokersolar.com.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now, from Broker Solar, local, honest, solar. Online at brokersolar.com.
Good afternoon. Collisions at Garnets Ferry at Greenlawn and 77 north of Bluff and 77 north of Shop, 77 north at I-26 and American Italian Way at Pine View, Spears Creek at Earth Road and I-20 west of Bush River Road, Bush River to Colonial Life, and also South Hardin at Assembly and Forest Drive at Beltline and 26 eastbound at Highway 21. The company Pest Control and Wildlife Removal is committed to providing humane wildlife control, removal, and prevention. Natural Roots methods are non-toxic, eco-friendly, and safe for children and pets. Natural Roots, pestcontrol.com. Doug Thomas on the point.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your Monday evening forecast. Scattered thunderstorms remain possible into the evening and overnight hours. A few storms may be strong with heavy rain, wind, and lightning. Make sure to check the radar if you're heading out. Overnight lows drop to the low 70s. For Tuesday, expect highs in the upper 80s and a 40% chance of afternoon downpours or thunderstorms. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
All right, Gene Garris filling in for Kevin Cohen. Afternoon drive, 803-799-8255. Thanks for holding on there, David, the super scientist.
Yeah, so I saw the same thing Ed did today about stock market basically unchanged. and it had me kind of Googling to see, like, what's the smallest, change for the day. And I think I actually had a zero. December 24th, I forget what year it was. Might have been in the 80s, but I don't remember when. But it has been actually a zero. The only thing I've seen more right down the middle is first caller David. I mean, clearly this guy, you can't tell if he's a Democrat or Republican. I'm going to start calling him David the Moderate because, listen to him talk.
He's really even-handed, too. On some issues he's on one side and on an equal... No.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's okay. If you're on the other side or if you're on my side, and it's okay. It doesn't matter. And I have friends of mine that say things to me like, doesn't it bother you when people disagree with you? And I'm like, no, all my life when people have disagreed. And I think I'm, on what I believed was correct, even as a much younger person. I think on balance, I've probably ended up being more correct than more wrong. But that's not uncommon to run into people that believe different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would not want to acknowledge being a Democrat. I mean, I have my same time back earlier in my life. I was Clinton 92, but I was
Oh, goodness. But, how did you get hoodwinked and bamboozled for that Little Rock, oh, man.
Yeah.
A playboy from Little Rock. William Jefferson Blythe Clinton.
Yeah, he got me. So, I was in the shadows early on, but I woke up and everything. But, speaking of our Democrat friends, Mr. Mailin Man, who was just here to make fat cakes, he needs to be thanking them because they have rescued him from being safe, free of imprisonment, probably free of being put to death in his home country, being brought back here for due process.
Yeah, well,
so whatever due process gets, he owes them.
Yeah, well, that's the deal. And if they've indicted him on human trafficking, and there's child sex trafficking, and there's a hint of murder involved, and things like that, man, we might have brought him back just to kill him.
Right. So him and the family can thank all these liberals, all these Democrats out there, championing his cause, saying due process. So, he can thank them whenever he's sitting in that chair with $1 million. So I just think it's kind of comical to see how it turned out where he was fine where he was, but, they haul him back.
Well, who's that senator going to have his margaritas with now?
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of that, I saw one of our favorite Congress creators today. I forget what the clip was about, but Spartacus, he was waiting on LA, I think.
Spartacus, or he actually is the human embodiment of Mr. Potato Head. I mean, truly, the crazy thing about Mr. Booker, Senator Booker from the great state of New Jersey, is that he beat Strom Thurmond's record on the floor of the U.S. Senate. And it made me think, man, that guy hates America more than Strom Thurmond loved segregation. That's a lot of hate.
Yeah, it is. But, I'm kind of, I see what's going on in L.A. with all this stuff, and my first question is, do we send them foreign aid? I don't know if it's that point yet. We send them foreign aid, but...
well, I'll tell you one thing is, if we replace those California National Guardsmen with South Carolina National Guardsmen, we got a different story. If you want to clean it up, forget about, in California it's a beautiful, and that's one of the unfair things, is that it is a gem of God's creation. And you're into hydrogeology and those things. It is an amazing state. And I've only been in Los Angeles County and Alameda County, and then in Marin County and the city of San Francisco and Daly City and places like that. Those are the only two places in California I've been. But I've spent probably 2 months there in 4-day increments. And it was beautiful. I mean, it's you're walking around and you're like, wow, this is one of the nicest places I've ever been. And then you have to step over some human poop on a city sidewalk, or you got to kick a needle out of the way so that you can make safe passage. All sorts of crazy stuff.
Well, there are 3 supervolcanoes in the United States, and 2 of them are right there. One's actually there, and one's like right on the border in Nevada, but kind of close enough to do damage. But
I had no idea that we actually have. Yeah. So, do you know the names of them off the top of your head?
Obviously, Yellowstone's the one I can think of, and the other 2 have like very regional type meanings, so I can't remember their names.
Okay. Well, that's sort of an interesting thing. So, does that mean I need to get on the Lex Luthor thing and buy some Nevada coastal property?
Well, it's like when I told when I was interviewed on that station in Philadelphia last week. This stuff's all going to happen soon, but soon geologically could be 10,000 years. So I wouldn't. Of course, so you're a healthy guy, so you might do.
The double joke on the healthy thing, and then.
So, but that's all I got, Gene. Thanks a lot. I'm sure I'll talk to you a few more times this week.
All right. Well, we'll be here every day, and we're going to jump every day except Wednesday, and we'll jump to the phones and say, "Hey, caller, how are you?"
Good. How you doing, Gene?
I'm doing great. And tell me who you are.
This is Steven.
All right. What's going on there, Steven?
Well, for one, the Maryland MS-13 member, I thought he had 2 prior deportation orders.
He did. He did.
So how does he get a 3rd due process? Is it 3 strikes you're
out?
No.
Now here's the thing. He got, when they were doing the research and they found that he had been popped in a traffic stop in the great state of Tennessee, that when he was human trafficking, they ran the VIN of that vehicle or whatever and found out that it went to a known human trafficker. And the FBI folks, the federales, went and talked to that guy. And he's the guy that told them, like, yeah, we're human traffickers. That's what we were doing. And so the federal government sought an indictment from a grand jury, and they got it. So he's not coming back to avoid deportation. He's coming back to be charged with an additional crime of which he might have a custodial sentence for the rest of his life.
Well, that would be good. So how rich is it that Ed, bless his heart, and the hypocrisy of the left, talking about sending blue state governors to jail for transporting illegals when Biden was transferring in the middle of the night all kinds of illegals in flights to all kinds of blue states?
Yes, or red states.
Excuse me. Yeah, red states. So the red states are trying to abide by the law, but yet the federal government's not enforcing it. So they're sending them to the states that want them for free health care. Like they're trying.
You
to
said you wanted them. You said you want.
Right.
You said you wanted. We just want to. If you said you wanted a dog, we would have sent you a dog.
Yeah, we're trying to abide by the law. We're sending them to you who don't want to abide by the law because we don't want them here, which is crazy. And then, God, so.
But no, but it is totally wild. But and this is with my Sunday program, and sometimes other people mention things that we talk about on the Sunday program. But one of the sort of themes is with these people, and that means Democrats. It really should be leftists. Nothing is more situational than their ethics. If it's Orange Man, oh, it's the most horrible thing ever. If it's animated corpse Joe Biden, oh, he's the strongest they've ever been. I can't keep up with him. Whatever Jean-Claude Van Damme Pierre says. The Democrats right now are so much in trouble that Karine Jean-Pierre left that party. And they talk about
went independent, but yet they're still talking about state rights and how you're violating state rights by sending, the National Guard in. But what about the state rights of Texas and Florida, who are being overrun by federal laws that are being broken? They don't have any state rights to get those people out of there?
Well,
why can't they deport them themselves?
And again, the chief executive of the nation, if you're attacking federal property, he is obligated to protect federal property, and that means using federal resources to do it. Hold on, Stephen. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
The Afternoon Drive with Kevin Cohen.
Hey, I'm Katie Griner.
And I'm Lindsay Outlaw.
Every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9, we will be talking about issues that concern seniors and their families.
So join us right here on 100.7, The Point Radio for the positive points on aging.
Brought to you by Oakley Village of Lexington.
Join us here Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on The Point for the Pastor's Pulpit with Steve Williamson. That's 9 a.m. Sunday mornings here on 100.7 FM The Point for the Pastor's Pulpit.
Point A to Point B traffic. Now from Broker Solar. Local, honest, solar. Search Broker Solar.
A wreck at Clemson at Long Green Parkway, and also a wreck at 2 Notch at Cedar Crest. Collisions at Killian at West Killian, and also Garner's Ferry at Greenlaw. 77 north at the 5 and 6 and I-26. Wrecks at American Italian Way at Pine View, Old Barmel at Enterprise Parkway, William Hardin at Hardscrabble. Also Spears Creek at Earth, I-20 west of Bush River Road, Bush River at Colonial, South Hardin at Assembly, Forest Drive at Beltline, and 26 east at Highway 21. Those are the worst ones. Natural Roots Pest Control and Wildlife Removal is committed to providing humane wildlife control, removal, and prevention. Natural Roots methods are non-toxic, eco-friendly, and safe for children and pets. NaturalRootsPestControl.com. Doug Thomas on The Point.
Point A to Point B traffic. 4 times an hour, mornings and afternoons on The Point.
Hi, it's Mary Catherine
and Thomas from Louisiana Purchase, inviting you to start your day sweet with beignets and coffee from 9 to 11.
Treat yourself to lunch at Louisiana Purchase and find one-of-a-kind gifts you won't see anywhere else.
Stop by Cypress Market for gourmet meats, cheeses, fine wines, and ready-to-go items.
Give your weddings, graduations, holidays, and office parties Southern flair with our catering and custom charcuterie.
Visit Louisiana Purchase, your taste of the South, all in one stop.
LouisianaPurchase.com.
Looking to upgrade your home with beautiful, long-lasting floors? At Carpet One Columbia, we make it easy. From luxury vinyl and hardwood to plush carpet and custom rugs, we have hand-selected options to fit your lifestyle and your budget. We're locally owned and operated with 2 convenient showrooms next to Riverbank Zoo and in West Columbia. Come walk our floors before you choose yours. Carpet One, trusted flooring done right.
Are you looking for free checking and free savings? Dave Ramsey here, telling you to go see my friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. They're not a mega bank that's so big they lose the ability to treat you like a human being. At Palmetto Citizens, you're not just a number, you're a member. Join today at any of their 14 locations or at palmettocitizens.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Have you had a broken windshield complement to those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way, the big national guy. But remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
How often do you speak with your insurance agent? I'm David Jolly of the Higgins & Halloran Insurance Group. I help insure your home, your vehicles, and even your business. How am I different? I have a relationship with all of my customers. I talk with them on a regular basis. If you haven't talked to your insurance agent in years and you've allowed your policy to keep rolling over, we can do better. Give me a chance to shop around for you and get the best rates. Call me at 803-850-0054. When you think about insurance, I ask that you think of me, David Jolly.
Hi, this is Chris Neely, Superintendent of the South Carolina Public Charter School District. I hope you'll join Kevin and me each Tuesday afternoon to Bring Your Kids First, where we talk about educational issues and what we're doing to teach kids the right way. It's Kids First, Tuesday at 5:30, right here on 100.7 The Point.
The Afternoon Drive with Kev continues now from the Bart Fireside Studios.
All right, Jim, get us back with our friend Steven. Thanks for holding on there, Steven.
All right, so yeah, just my whole point was how rich that was that Ed found hypocrisy in the Republicans trying to obey the federal law and get them out of their state to be legal, while Elmer Fudd and Biden were letting them all in, breaking their oath of office to protect this country, and then flying them all over the country in the dark of night to states that didn't want them.
Well, here's the thing, Stephen.
Should be in jail. Elmer Fudd and that whole White House should be in jail.
One thing that the American people really understand, without complication, is fundamental fairness. And when you find out that these not only undocumented, I can't get on an airplane without the real ID or whatever now. I can't get on an airplane without an American passport or without my now South Carolina driver's license that has a sort of light gold sandy star on it. But none of these people had any documentation, and they were able to fly around the country without any scrutiny. That's unfair. Or shots, or I don't know if you remember it with remember the migrant children surge coming across the southern border, and they interviewed this poor kid. Of course, he's speaking in Spanish, and you could actually see the lice crawling around at the between his hair and hairline, and you're like, "Whoa, we're in a pandemic. You're not giving these. I mean, you didn't even run a comb through his hair. Come on, this is inhumane." But it's not about that. It's about. Go ahead.
It was forcing military people to take the jab, but not the people coming across the border. Then they had a measles outbreak in Texas. Where do you think that came from?
That's right.
All these illegals that came across the border that were unvaccinated.
In a couple of years
ago, blame it on the Republicans because they didn't believe in vaccination.
Well, Stephen, a couple years ago, we had the breakout at Disney World. Remember Disney World or Disneyland in Anaheim, California? We had that breakout. Well, that wasn't from healthy, overeating Americans. That came across the southern border.
Exactly.
And so it's really weird. And again, like with the Sunday program, everything with these people is situational. This is the law. This is what's required. This is what you must do, unless it serves our greater interest, and then you can do whatever you want to do, whatever to get you in the door. And so that becomes problematic, and that makes us more of a mafia state. And in South Carolina is that way too. Hey, gambling is immoral and it's illegal. But if you pay us, we'll let you into the state lottery. If you do that, alcohol consumption on Sunday, that's the Lord's Day for all Christian folks. We need to have a law against that. Well, we did have a law against it, but if you pay me, you can get a special license so your restaurant can serve alcohol on Sunday. So it's almost like the popes of old and indulgences. This is immoral. This is wrong. We have principles against this. But if you pay me, you can do it.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, Jim.
All right. Thanks so much, Stephen. All right. We've got a little bit of time, and you can gobble up that time. 803-799-8255. 799-TALK on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline. Oh, my goodness. Somebody's got I picked up my phone to check on something. Somebody's got a propane container filled with tannerite, and they're about to let it go. And that would have been fun to watch, but I'd rather talk to you. So give me a shout, 803-799-8255. But yeah, the thing with Musk and El Presidente, I think it was an artifice. I think it was a creation. I think it was sort of a fake. And there's going to be lots of stuff. This media team. Now, I thought Sarah Huckabee Sanders was a rock star presidential press gal. And then she gets replaced by, I think, was it Sean Spicer? And then ultimately Kayleigh McEnany. And I'm like, wow, this Kayleigh McEnany woman, man alive, is she amazing. And now we have Caroline with a K. Levitt. And there is almost no comparison between 27, 28-year-old Caroline Levitt and rock star Kayleigh McEnany. The Trump team has they've got some they got a bench. They got some really good folks, and it's different this time. First administration putting Reince Priebus. You are this disruptor. You are the billionaire playboy Donnie from Queens, and you put Reince Priebus as your chief of staff. Oh my goodness! And what happened, of course, was the head muckety mucks inside the party is like, well, I know you have ideas and there's things you want to do, but you need to make sure you install the right people to help you navigate this thing. And of course, they were nothing but obstructionists and fails. They, in this, even in the reincarnation of the Trump presidency number 2, dos, right? That's a limit to my Spanish lingo there. We've had to move people around inside the Defense Department. We've had to move people around inside the State Department. We've had to move a lot of people around because they're bad actors installed in the national government. So I know lots and lots of South Carolina state employees. I used to be one. Gosh, can you believe that? So I know lots and lots of those people, and they have not necessarily a thing you'd say a political bias, but they have things they like, they have things they don't like, they have things they support, they have things they fight. And you can imagine that if you're in the national government, same deal. And so if you've got an apparatchik of a collectivist political ideology, do you think that person's going to be even-handed in how they dole out, let's say, FEMA money? Well, we know that's not true. Do you think they're going to Department of Agriculture? Do you think they're going to dole out federal farmers grants in a fair or reasonable, colorblind way? The answer to that is no. So there's a bunch of political things that are hidden truths. One is demographics is destiny. It's true. If you import a whole bunch of third world people into your city, state, political subdivision, or country, well, your country's going to be a little bit more like the third world that those people came from. Just, they don't check their brain at the door, thank God. They don't check their prejudices and biases at the door. They don't check any of their lived experience at the door. So while they are new Americans, they're not necessarily the same believing as you would hope they would believe with the American dream and all those things. So that's one thing. Demographics is destiny, and here's one of the other big ones. People, when you hire them and have them work for you, people are policy. So you can have a neutral state organ, let's say Department of Agriculture. You fill it full of folks that want to change agriculture in the United States. Well, that's the direction it's all going to go. That's just how it works. People are policy. And that's one of the curses. We know dead fish President Biden, the animated corpse, he was not in charge of anything. Really, maybe for the first week that he was in office as president. But when he swept into office, like the fumes of a septic tank, as he swept into office, he brought all these radicals. Like, remember the bald-headed guy that stole women's clothes? He top secret security clearance, and he was, I think, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. That was his. Change that. I think he was Department of Energy. And we've got a guy, a great South Carolinian, David Wright, and a radio guy who's head of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for the United States. So South Carolina runs again. I hope you win. Catch you tomorrow on the Afternoon Drive. I'm Jim Gass, filling in for Kevin Cohen. It's a great day in South Carolina.
He's live. He's local. He's Kevin Cohen.
Hey, y'all, it's Kevin.